This is JMR Geography for Lesson 2, Gabriel's Message. Again, the lack of physical movement in Lesson 2 allows us to introduce more about the so-called 400 years of silence between Malachi and Matthew. These years were anything but silent in Eastern Mediterranean history and in Jewish history. This week we again open Regional Study Map 1, Middle East, to examine Period Map 7 at the bottom of the map. Period Map 7 is Hellenistic Empires, minus 323 to minus 63. In the PDF essay that you received in order to access this video, you would find the bold-faced names, and I asked you to highlight those bold-faced names here, or to at least find them up on the map above if they were not here. And whether you highlight them or not, that is up to you up above. You're also going to find some form of these headlines bold-faced. So as you see a bold-faced headline in the essay, check and see where you are here. And anytime you see a number associated with it, look for the arrow, the corresponding arrow. They're all numbered. And I went ahead and highlighted the numbers on my arrows. If you have the optional book, Regions on the Run, I'm going to ask you to read pages 30 to 31 along with the lesson this week. And so it starts with Assyria, Babylon. It's the land between into the days of Jesus. Moving from Assyria through Babylon and Persia down into the Hellenistic period where we are in today's thoughts. Hellenism, the imported model of Greek culture, and then on up into Rome. So Rome, the Eastern Mediterranean becomes a Roman Sea, and this flows down into the Gospels itself, and we have a couple of maps that are associated with that. I want to provide for you a graphic depiction of Hellenistic control in the land. And for that, I'm going to give you a peek at a future gatefold product from biblical backgrounds. But let me illustrate what a gatefold product is. Here's a product that we just printed, 500 years of Israelite kings. A gatefold is 8 pages in length. So the front page introduces you to the topic, sets it within our 4,000 year chart, graphically seeing it within there. Moving on to a simplified view on the back with a discussion of some of the issues involved, and then when you open the piece up, you have the larger chart showing the expansion and contraction of the kings, the northern kings of Israel in orange, the southern kings of Judah in green, and then essays on either on the side flaps attending to the portion of the chart that you're looking at. So we're planning to put this chart on the Hellenistic age, Alexander to Augustus, in a similar gatefold product. And this takes us 300 years from minus 330 down to minus 30. What do I mean by a graphic depiction? The colors, the shapes on the chart aid you in understanding the history. So for example, the large blue that you see sweeping across the chart represents Rome. And so Rome, for the first 140 years, is in conflict in the Western Mediterranean, chiefly against the Phoenician commercial colony of Carthage in North Africa. For who is going to control the Western Mediterranean? Then Rome begins to move into the Aegean world, into Macedonia, on into Anatolia, and eventually entering the land between itself in minus 63. During this period of time, what we're looking at is in the Eastern Mediterranean. In the Eastern Mediterranean, we have the Seleucid kingdom to the north, in the region of Aram, the Ptolemaic kingdom to the south in Egypt, and in between are the Jewish people in the land between. We have 8 decades in which these two kingdoms are fighting for control. The Ptolemies controlled the land between, but the Seleucids were attempting to wrest control from them. So 5 different battles, or 5 different wars. And in the 5th war, Antiochus III is successful at Panias, which later becomes Caesarea Philippi, in northern Israel. This is 198, minus 198, and now the land is under the control of the Seleucids. The Jews welcome Antiochus III. They are promised religious freedom, but Hellenism begins to spread among the Jews, and tensions, intra-Jewish tension also develops. Antiochus III set his eyes on more of Anatolia and actually the Aegean world and came into conflict with Rome. Rome crushed him and greatly weakened the kingdom of the Seleucids. Two different lines of those seeking the throne develop, and we are familiar with Antiochus IV, Epiphanes, who wanted to create unity in his kingdom by enforcing Hellenism. He enforced it on the Jews. It produced the Maccabean revolt. And then once they gained freedom, we move into the Hasmonean state, when you have these Jewish kings again ruling over an expanding Jewish kingdom. Internal strife emerges with the Pharisees, as the Pharisees say, we never intended for this. Then eventually there will be dispute in the Hasmonean family as well for the one who will sit on the throne, Hyrcanus II, Aristobulus I. The conflict brings Pompey, the Roman general Pompey, into the land in minus 63. So this is the period that we're looking at this week as we look at Hellenistic control in the land.